Welcome guys back to another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily. Just before this video starts, I just want to give a shout out to Nandez1 who does some amazing Premier League style content. So if you guys are interested in that, please click the first link in the description box down below. This is one of his videos that he's done, which is an Arsenal potential 11. So you guys are interested in that kind of thing, so I'll leave the link for that in the description as well. So let's get straight into today's episode. So guys, in today's episode, it's quite a lot of breaking news because in my personal opinion and in what I've read in the sources I'm going to suggest today, I think we've signed Gabriel. I think this is a done deal now, and Arsenal have won the race for Gabriel Magalhaes race, as Napoli cannot move for the defender until they sell Koulibaly. As we know, Manchester City are interested in Kalidou Koulibaly, and Napoli obviously want Gabriel to replace him. Napoli do have a €30 million deal accepted from Lille for him, but for Napoli they do need to sell before they buy, because they already have Kalidou Koulibaly. So at the moment they don't need Gabriel unless they sell Koulibaly. Man City haven't made any contact yet, nor has any other club. Koulibaly's valuation is quite high, or it is going to look to be quite high. So it's a very complicated deal for any club like Man City to try to get done. But it looks like Arsenal are racing to complete this deal before Napoli. And this report from Sky Sports Italia, which is again very good source, especially with links to Napoli. And if they're suggesting that Napoli are now out of the race, that just leaves one club in the running, and that is Arsenal. And they have had that €30 million bid accepted, which I did report, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that I reported that Gabriel's bid has been accepted, and Arsenal have reportedly beaten Napoli in the race to sign Lille defender Gabriel Magalhaes. As I just said, he had 25 million offers accepted from both Arsenal and Napoli, but now Sky Sports Italia claim Arsenal matched Napoli's offer with the same personal terms, because we did report around a week ago that Napoli agreed personal terms, that Arsenal have turned around and agreed with, they basically matched those personal terms. And now the report adds the 22-year-old's decision was partly because the Italians couldn't complete a move until they sell Kalidou Koulibaly. Napoli are all but resigned to losing their star defender after years of fending off interest from the likes of Manchester United and Manchester City. And again, City and Liverpool are also on the hot trail for the Senegal star this summer, yet the Premier League trio are all struggling to match Napoli's 70 million asking price, meaning Koulibaly is increasingly likely to remain at the club. Meanwhile, Gabriel seemed to hint at his move to Arsenal, as his brother and sister reportedly started following the Gunners on different media accounts. So that is pretty interesting as well. One more thing I do want to add to that as well. Apparently AFTV did do a report, that some sort of post that said that Arsenal have agreed terms and a deal with Gabriel Magalhaes, and apparently his dad liked the post, and obviously Arsenal fans being the detectives they are, found this out, and since then Gabriel's dad has basically unliked the post. But the fact that he has liked this post could suggest, it could give a sneaky little hint that Gabriel could be on his way to Arsenal instead of Napoli. Now the news that Napoli can't basically afford him, which is what we're hearing, because they have to sell Koulibaly first. As you guys all know, or probably should know, that Victor Osimhen did move again from Lille, which is quite surprising, to Napoli for €80 million. So they have spent quite a bit of money on that transfer, and obviously Napoli now have to try and sell players before they can buy, because they finished in quite a low position. I believe it was something like 7th or 8th Napoli finished in the Italian league in Serie A. So again, they don't have real European football, or they have Europa League, I'm not too sure about that, but nevertheless they won't have much money to spend, and I think they'll have to try and sell their star players like Koulibaly to try and make more transfers happen. Again, the fact that they've agreed that €30 million doesn't mean they've paid it, just means that they've agreed the deal, and Arsenal basically matched that, and it's going to be in installments. As you guys all know, Arsenal love doing those installments. They did the same thing with Nicola Pepe last year, and Leo really liked that, and Arsenal do have good interest, good relationships with Leo, which means it's easier for Arsenal to get such deal done. Now, in terms of when everyone's saying in the reports that, Gabriel has to choose between Arsenal and Napoli, I think, in my opinion, he wants to join to Arsenal. I think all the sort of things he said, sort of hints he's given himself. Apparently, he did a live on a media account, and he did, apparently some Arsenal fans said, lift your cap if you're going to join Arsenal. I don't think I can find it. If I can find it, then I'll put it on the screen now. If not, then don't worry, because this is true. I did see this myself, and I think most of you Arsenal fans must have seen this as well, where he lifted his cap. It was pretty significant, because it shows that you might want to join Arsenal. You never know. And I think you'd rather live in London than Naples. I'm not trying to be biased. I've said this before, but I think London is a more attractive place to live. I know Naples is a very nice place, but again, the Premier League is a very attractive league, and I think if Gabriel wants to be very ambitious, I think he'd rather do that in the Premier League than someone like Serie A. And I think he'd be much suited to the Premier League, and especially when he could be lining up next to William Saliba, it does, it could form a really good partnership in the backline, because now you have Bellerin. If we're going to keep Bellerin, again, I don't really want to keep Bellerin, but he's probably going to be here next season. Next to Saliba, who's 19, Gabriel, who's 22, and with Tane, who's I think 23. So all of a sudden, you have a backline with a really low average age, and that backline can move forward in the next 5 or 6 years, can build a really good relationship going forward in our so-called process that we're trying to build here, especially with this Brazilian core. We're also trying to build some of these French players, some of these Brazilian players, adding a bit of other players around that as well. We're building quite a good defense, and if we do sign Gabriel, we do have a pretty good defense, and I think at times Bellerin shows that he can be really good. He just has to do that more consistently, and I've seen it from him, but I think we'll see what happens about that, if Arsenal do want to sell Bellerin or not. So that is the news that Arsenal reportedly won the race for Gabriel Magalhaes, and this deal could be done in the next week, and he has chosen Arsenal, guys. This deal will happen, trust me on this one, this will happen. Next bit of news is on Thomas Partey. Now, a few days ago I did say that apparently a deal had been agreed, and that AFC Bell had said that deal had been agreed. A lot of people in the comments were saying that was fake. Again, I'm just reporting what's out there, what's been said in the media, and AFC Bell are quite a reliable. They've confirmed quite a few deals in the past. I can't exactly pinpoint which ones, because I can't exactly remember on the top of my head, but there have been so many contrasting reports, so there's so much drama behind this deal. And Arsenal apparently been dealt a transfer blow, with reports suggesting that Atletico Madrid apparently Atletico Madrid are convinced that Thomas Partey will stay despite a replacement being lined up, which we'll talk about in a second. Arsenal reported to be dealt a blow. Atletico Madrid convinced Thomas Partey will stay this summer despite his replacement already been lined up. Gunners boss Mikel Arteta is hoping to add some quality to his midfield ranks this summer, with 45 million rated Atleti star Partey targeted. Again, we've said this so many times, he adds so much to our squad. He's a world-class player in my opinion. I think most of you guys would agree with that as well. However, the La Liga giants are certain they won't part with him, despite being close to signing Napoli star Allen, according to reports. And as Sky Sports journalist Matteo Moretto reveals that Diego Simeone was confident in keeping hold of Partey this summer. Look, what I'll say to this is, he wants to join Arsenal, okay? We've heard this so many times, reports from Ghana, so from his dad or whatever. He wants to join Arsenal. It is very certain he wants to move to the Premier League. And now, Atleti are saying they've convinced him. Now, he has a release clause. That means Arsenal don't have to negotiate with Atleti, even though they are, because they don't want to pay the 50 million release clause. But if all of a sudden Arsenal do raise the funds, or they decide to just give up and say, okay, we'll pay the release clause, Atletico Madrid cannot do anything about that. And again, other reports are saying that personal terms have been agreed. It's so contrasting, you can't really pinpoint it to one. And again, it's so confusing at times with Thomas Partey, because we know he's going to join, but we don't know if Arsenal are going to pull the money together, because some sources are saying Arsenal won't pay it, some sources are saying he will pay it, so you don't really know. In my opinion, I think we will end up paying the £50 million release cost to land him, because as we all know, he is Arsenal's #1 target, and I think if Arsenal want to be ambitious this summer, he will be a huge part of that. And again, other reports have said that Arsenal will try and sign him. They have signed him, they've agreed personal terms, and reports coming from Spain, like this one I've just read out, that said Atleti are convinced. Something similar happened with Kieran Tierney the other year, and Neil Lennon kept saying, are we confident Tierney will stay, because again, there wasn't any release clause on Tierney that year, but Celtic always had a stance, £25 million, and again, Arsenal were just trying to negotiate around that and say, 50 million, 20 million plus a load of add-ons to make it 25 million, unrealistic add-ons, which was reported, and then Arsenal eventually gave up and said, here's the money, give us Tierney. I think something similar will happen here. I know it's very different, but the situation in which this has been conducted is very similar, and I think Arsenal will get the deal done for Thomas Partey eventually. And again, I think they're just trying to work a way around to try and get the deal done for cheaper. I think Arsenal will raise some funds selling the likes of Guendouzi, selling the likes of Torreira to try and fund this deal, and I think it will happen in my opinion. But again, there's a lot of twists to this deal which may affect it. Again, you never know with anything, you never know, do you? And again, as I just said, Atletico Madrid are lining up Allen, who's apparently an Everton target, and they want to sign Allen for £35 million. And if they do sign Allen, it could show that maybe they are ready to give up Thomas Partey and that could be a sign that Arsenal have probably signed him. You know, the report we said from AFC Bell, we reported that, and they said that Thomas Partey will not play again for Atletico Madrid. So that'll be interesting to see how that pans out, because if he doesn't, then that shows that Arsenal probably paid the release clause already. But you never know, do you? You never ever know until it's actually confirmed on the Arsenal website or the Atletico Madrid website when they say a release clause has been paid or whatnot. So that is the news on Thomas Partey, and that this saga is going to rumble on, as Atletico Madrid really want Thomas Partey to stay, but still want the 50 million euros to sell Thomas Partey. Obviously that's his release clause, and Arsenal are still trying to negotiate around that, but reports have said that they will pay it, some have said they won't pay it. So this drama will go on for quite a while. So that is the news on Thomas Partey. Next, we'll be talking about Mikel Arteta, and apparently he is granted more power over Arsenal transfers after Sinelli's exit. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta reportedly has more power when it comes to Arsenal transfer dealings. The Gunners reportedly announced head of football Raul Sinelli was leaving the club amid a restructuring. Manager-director Vinay is also absorbing his role. You guys know my thoughts about Vinay, but we'll give him a chance because you never know how you do in a higher role. And the Times have said Arteta will now have a lot of say who comes in and out of the club. The young manager has only been in charge for half season, but has already won the FA Cup for his team. Reportedly, the deal that brought Nicola Pepe to Arsenal, which cost more than 70 million euros, is one of the reasons why Sinelli is no longer at the club. Arteta will work with technical director Edu with transfers, and Vinay will dealing with the financial aspect of the process. Now, Arteta, I did sort of touch on this on yesterday's show, but I do want to go into this a bit more with Arteta being now more involved with the transfers. I think this is very good. It also represents what happened with Arsene Wenger, because he was very involved with the transfers as well when it comes to dealing, and I think this is a very, very good thing, because the manager, you know, he knows what he wants and he wants to get what he wants, and the fact that Arteta will now be involved in the transfers more, you know, allows to, you know, ensure that he will get what he wants and everything is going smoothly, and you know, he can get his alternatives if he can't get his first targets. Because remember last year with Unai Emery, he wanted Zaha but got Pepe, he wanted Partey but got Torreira, things like that, and Unai Emery wasn't really trusted. So the fact that Arteta has been trusted and has been given that higher role to, you know, play a huge role in the transfer show, that the Arsenal board, Stan and Josh Kroenke, do put a lot of trust on Arteta and do believe what he's trying to do for the club. And I think for the long run, this will be very, very helpful for the club, because, you know, it builds a good trust with the manager and the board, because if, you know, Arteta wants to play, he can directly call Vinay because he doesn't have to go through too many people. That's one of the reasons Mourinho actually rejected the job of Arsenal, because there's too many people to go through to try and confirm a transfer. But now Arteta's now in the mix of it. It will ensure that he does get the players he wants, and I hope he does get the players he wants, because Arteta deserves it. You know, we just saw with Solskjaer, it's not easy winning a trophy. You know, they lost to Sevilla, a brilliant team. You know, we had to go through Man City, Chelsea. You could even say Sheffield United are a really good team. You know, they're a really good team at home. Yes, they didn't have their fans, but Arteta has done a brilliant job. You know, you can't say Europa League's hard. You can say it's harder, but they were still one-off games. It's not like they were two-leg games, and Frank Lampard didn't win a trophy either. You know, Arteta has done better out of all of those. Yes, they've finished higher. Yes, they're more down. They're experienced. They have more experience. But I think, in my opinion, I think Arteta is better than Solskjaer. I'm not gonna get on a big hype train saying Arteta is the next big thing, but what I've seen so far on Arteta shows me that I can trust him moving forward, and I can trust him with these transfers, that he will make the right decisions, bring in the right players so we can move forward and try and push for a Champions League position. I'm not saying we will get a Champions League position next year. We can certainly make a push, and that is the best any club can do to try and get their club forward in terms of the end goal, which is trying to win a league title, which is what we're trying to aim towards, and hopefully Arteta is the man who can lead us to do that. So that is this breaking news. Arteta will now have more of a role. We have gone more into depth with this in this show. So please leave your thoughts about this in the comment section down below, that Arteta will have more of a power when it comes to transfer dealings. Next bit of news is quite a strange one, and we've actually completed a signing. The reason I didn't put this at the start of the video, because I do not know anything about this player, and apparently Arsenal have completed the signing of youngster Tim Akinola after breaking their ordinary transfer procedure. I don't really know what they're talking about here, but let's just move on in the report. Akinola, who is 19, was released by Huddersfield last month, but has now been handed a surprise deal to link up with Arsenal's under-23s. Now you can see why I didn't put this at the start of the video. According to The Athletic, who are very reliable, again, this hasn't been official, but this is like from inside sources now, Arsenal staff was so impressed with Akinola after video analysis that they broke their ordinary procedure of offering the youngster a trial to instantly offer him a deal. Okay, this is what they're talking about, the procedure. Normally what you're supposed to do is offer them a trial before you offer offer them a deal, but Arsenal, being the savage people they are, offered him a deal straight away. Again, why? Just give him a trial first. Okay, whatever, let's just move on. The move comes as an Arsenal plays to increase focus on recruitment of development players between the age of 18 to 21 under the guidance of Perma Saga and Lee Heron, who is head of their talent ID department. I don't know what that is, but yeah, let's move on. He's a raw winger Akinola. He's eligible to play for both Nigeria and England. Sounds similar to Bukayo Saka, by the way, and early got into the academy system with Mansfield age 16 before moving to Lincoln City in 2018-19. He was named on the bench by Danny Cowley in the Checkatrade Trophy and featured in FA Youth Cup before a loan spell at Lincoln United. In the 8th day, he moved to Huddersfield after a successful trial last year, but he was released this summer. I don't know why he was released if he played so well. I didn't get that. But he's been signed for free by Arsenal without any need to pay compensation. Arsenal love a good free transfer with no compensation. Why can't we get this? Oh, I didn't get this. Interest from elsewhere reportedly saw them worried they could miss out, but again, they have done this and they've avoided the trial period just so they can get ahead of other clubs to try and sign Akinola. Unknown Norwegian George Lewis has also been snapped up by Arsenal. They are trying to build up their under-23s by these developing players. Again, it does look like their new process. I don't know how this process is going to work, but hopefully it is a good process and this Akinola player can rip it up in the under-23s and hopefully make his first team debut soon. I don't know when, because we have got quite a few upcoming young wingers like Martinelli, like Saka, and we've just brought in Willian. So I don't know about some of these players. I think maybe a loan deal if they do well in the under-23s, who knows, but we have signed this player called Tim Akinola. Last bit of news comes in the form of Matt Smith. Now, Matt Smith is, again, he's quite a known player because he has been named on Arsenal's substitute bench quite a lot. You know, the name Matt Smith always comes up. He hasn't really featured. I don't think he's featured at all for Arsenal's first team, but he has been named on the bench, which just suggests Arteta has some form of trust with him. But now Matt Smith has joined Swindon Town on loan. He has joined newly promoted League One side Swindon Town on loan for the 2021 season. The 19-year-old has been at the club since under-9 level and has progressed through our Highland Youth Academy, signing his first professional contract with us in February 2019. He is a composed midfielder. The Harlow-born youngster has captained us to the under-18 Premier League South title 2018-19, playing every single minute during the victorious campaign. Matt was a regular in the under-23s last season and frequently trained with the first team squad. Yeah, that suggests why he was in the squads, and it does say here his fine performances were rewarded with a selection to the first team matchday on 6 occasions after the season's restart, including being an unused substitute in our heads-up FA Cup final victory over Chelsea. Wish Matt the best of luck in Swindon Town. Yet the loan is subject to a completion of the regulatory process. So we have loaned out Matt Smith. I think I'm quite excited by this because the fact that he has been in our matchday squad suggests that Arteta does see something in him, and the fact that he has been sent out alone, he can prove his worth and try and prove he can get back into the team and actually make a first team debut for Arsenal. So that is the news that Matt Smith has been loaned out to Swindon Town. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I know this video has been quite long. We've got a lot of news to cover, but hopefully we can try and shorten the videos soon enough. But again, if you have watched to the end, well done for watching me ramble for that long. But thank you guys so much for watching. Go check out Nandez's Arsenal potential lineup. That is a very interesting video and one worth to watch. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.